Hey, what's up? Welcome back to this new video. This one is paper 1-2 of February-March 2023 for paper A-level math, paper 1. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the questions we have for you today. Now, let's move on to question number 1. So, a line has equation this. This is my equation number 1. A curve have equation this. Equation number 2. Okay. Now, let's see what is the question we have for you. So, we have to show the line and the curve meet, intersect, for all the values of k. Okay, so basically we have to show they have a solution, because that's what it means. If they have a solution, they meet, right? Now, something we have to know right away is that to know if they have a solution, we have to test the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. When this value is more than 0 or equal to 0, it means it has roots. It has real roots. It meets, so it is good, right? It meets, it has values, good to go. However, if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, then it does not have no real roots. So that's the basic concept behind this question. We have to use that to solve this, right? Now, first thing first, obviously, we have to test if they meet or not, so we have to solve them simultaneously. So on one side you will have 3x minus 2k is equal to x squared minus kx plus 2. Okay, now send everything to one side, you will have x squared minus kx minus 3x plus 2 plus 2k. Now let's try to make this look pretty. Look in a simpler way. For example, I can factorize minus sign, that should become k plus 3x, and then plus 2k over here. Now we should know this is the value of a, value of b, of c. So therefore we have to test. Now let's of course use our formula here. B squared minus 4ac. B squared is k plus 3 square minus 4 times a times c. Now of course you might be asking about the negative sign, so when you square something it will become positive, so there's no need to write that. So expand, let's see what we have. That should become k squared plus 6k plus 9 minus 8 minus, of course here I have k missing, minus 8k. Now simplify, let's see what happens. That should be k squared minus 2k plus 1. Now, this is my value for b squared minus 4ac. Now, can you tell if this is going to be positive or negative? Well, it's not very obvious. So, whenever this happens, we tend to complete squares, right? So, here we have 1 k squared minus 2k plus 1. So, how do you complete squares? You just, again, this is 1 here, should be pretty simple. This is 1 over here, so we have x, so k here, not x, so k. Here we have minus 2, we'll write minus 2, divide by 2, square. Square this 1, plus the value in the back, and minus the same value over here. Here you go. So this is how you will complete the squares. Again, this is just one of the ways we do that. There's other ways I can show you guys as well. That should be k. 1 square is 1, so minus 1, this 1, plus 1 minus 1. So this will become k minus 1 square. Now, let's say you don't know how to use this method. We can always go back to use comparison. For example, 1k squared minus 2k plus 1 is equal to, now we wish to complete the squares, it should be k plus a squared plus b. For example, right? It should be in this form. Now we try to expand and compare the values. For example, it should become k squared plus 2ak plus a squared plus b. Now by comparison, this is 1 and 1, so good to go. This is 2a is the value of minus 2, therefore a is the value of minus 1. Last one is a squared plus b has to be the value of 1, so b is the value of 1 minus 1 is 0. So therefore this method as well, we conclude that should be k minus 1 squared plus b is 0. So this is also the complete square form of this equation right here. These two methods give you the same value. Now obviously, square of something can never be negative, so we confirm this is always going to be more than or equal to 0. Thus this confirms it will have roots. It means that it will have a solution. It means that they will meet for all values of k. So by showing this, by showing that this b squared minus 4ac is more than this, we have shown that they will meet for all values of k. Okay, so this is your question number 1. Now let's move on to question number 2. So here we have a function of f of x defined by this. Alright, cool. A sequence of transformation is applied in the following order to transform f of x to g of x. Okay, so from this we are going to transform this to this by applying these 3 transformations. Now at first we have what? At first we have y is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 5. That's the first equation. Now for the first transformation, number 1, it is a stretch in the direction of the x-axis with scale factor half. Now because of the 2 here at the base, that will become y is equal to 2x squared minus 2, x become 2x plus 5. That's step number 1. Now step number 2 for this one, reflection in the y-axis. So number 2, so when you reflect in the y-axis, the value of x become negative x, so that will become minus 2x squared minus 2 minus 2x plus 5. And finally, when you stretch in the direction of the y-axis going upwards, we have to multiply the whole thing by the scale factor here, 3 times everything. So now we have to expand this one by one and see what happens. So this will be 3. That will become 4x squared plus 4x and plus 5 times 3. That should become 12x squared plus 12x plus 15. And this is your answer in this form right here for your equation of g of x. Okay, always solve one by one, as one step at a time to find the answer for your question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So right now we have a curve has equation this. Alright. Now a point is moving along the curve. Okay. Now find the x value of the point on the curve at which the x and y coordinate are increasing at the same rate. Now what does that really mean, right? So this is what we want to know. For example, let's say I have a graph of, this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis, for example, right? It just means that logically, let's say x, so here we have 0, x increased by 1. So obviously because they're increasing by the same rate, y will also increase by 1. Let's say x increased by, again, by 1. This will also increase by 1. So can you see a trend here? It will increase by the same amount as x is increasing. Therefore, we have this movement in this direction. Now, what is the gradient of this direction? Pretty simple. It is a straight line, right? We use the height by the base, so 1 by 1. The gradient of this line will be the value of 1, which means if x is increasing at the same rate as y, we understand at that point dy by dx, which is the gradient, have to be the value of 1. So using this knowledge right here, we have to solve for that point. So first thing first, we have y as this, so find dy by dx to begin with. Now 1 over 60 is just a multiple, you can leave this outside. That will be 2. 3x plus 1 minus 1 become 1, and then times d by dx of this, that should be just 3. Simplify. That will be 6 over 60 times 3 plus x, 3x plus 1, sorry. That will be the value of 1 over 10, 3x plus 1. This is your dy by dx. Now, we understand it requires this to be 1, so equate that to 1. Let's see what happens. So finally, by cross multiplication, you will have 3x plus 1 is a value of 10. Therefore, 3x is a value of 9. X will be the value of 3. And this is your question number 3. We just require the x value. So x is 3 for 4 marks. Question number 3. Now let's move on to question number 4. The circumference around the trunk of a large tree is measured and found to be the value of 5.00 meters. Okay. Now after 1 year, the circumference is measured again and found to be 5.02. Okay. Part 1. Given that the circumferences at the yearly intervals form an AP, so now we know this is AP already, so we have to know which equation are we going to use. We have to find the circumference 20 years after the first measurement. So I think the main point here is to understand this. Okay, after the first measurement. So at first we had 5, and then it became 5.02. Now, the difference here is 0.02. That's the common difference. However, the question is not asking you to use 5 as your first value, but to use 5.02 as your first value. And then increase as we go for 20 years, because say after the first one, so we ignore the first one. So here, A is 5.02, and D is this value. We have to use our formula for AP. So the 20th term should be what? So we should know the nth term is given to you by this formula, which is Tn is going to be A plus n minus 1 times Z. Therefore, T of 20, that should be A, which is the first term of 5.02. N minus 1 is the value of 19 times D is 0.02. That should be 5.4. So 5.40 meters for the 20th term of your progression. Then let's move on to part B. So here we have what? Given instead the same thing, but here we have a geometric progression. So one more time, the first term here again will be the value of 5.02, because after the first measurement, so we are ignoring the value 5 again right here. But now for geometric progression, we have the common ratio. What is that? It is the first value here divided by this. So let's see what happens. That should be 5.02 divided by 5. That should be what? That'll be 1.004. Okay, so let's move on. So here we have to use the formula for the GP. We know it should be T of n term is equal to A or n minus 1. A is A, which is 5.02 here, times R, which is 1.004, and minus 1 should be 19 in this case. 5.02 times 1.001 power 19. That should be 5.41557. But correct with VSF, you will say obviously she's 5.42 meters for your answer for question part B. And that is your question number 4. But the catching point here is we have to take this one into account after first year. After first year, so we just ignore the first value here at 5, ignore this one, and look at this one as your first term to proceed. This is your question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. So here we have points A and B, these 2 points. So A is this, B we don't know, should be X and Y. It lies on a circle with center minus 2, 5. This is the center. Now, the line of AB has equation this. Alright, so we have to use this information to find the coordinates of B. Now, let me use, I guess, a small diagram here. Again, it is not exact. It is just an illustration to help you kind of know what are we trying to find. This is a circle here, for example. The center is here. For example, that should be minus 2 and 5. Okay. Let's say we have the point A is somewhere over here. Let's say over here. Why not? Who cares? That should be 7, 12. And the point B is somewhere over here, because why not? Right? And we have the equation of line AB. This equation has been given to you by y equal to minus 2x plus 26. That's the equation of line AB. Now what else? The center here is minus 2, 5. Okay. Now we have to find the point B. Now you can see clearly the point B lies on the circle. Therefore, you can say that the point B is a point of intersection between the circle and the line. So we have to find the equation of a circle to begin with. So how do you find the equation of a circle? We have to have the center, which is given to you. Perfect. Now we just have to know how to find this. So usually this is how it looks like. It is x minus, let's say this is A, plus y minus b equal to r squared, where A and B are the center of your circle and r is the radius of your circle. So this is the usual form of a equation of a circle. So we have to use that to, you can use it to find the equation. So x minus A is just a value of minus 2. That should be plus 2. Of course, I forgot something here, square and square, for the equation of circles. Plus y minus b, so y minus 5. That should be r squared. Now, what is the value of the radius? So pretty simple. Because we know the center, we know this value, we understand this is the radius. So we have to find the length of these. We have to find the length between these 2 points. So we can use our formula, pretty simple. That should be what? 7 minus 2 is 9. Square should be 81. 12 minus 5 is 7. Square, that should be 49. So root of 81 plus 49, that should be 130. Therefore, the radius is the value of root of 130. So r square, obviously, that should just become x plus 2 square y minus 5 square equal to 130. This is my equation number 2. Equation number 1 is right here. So again, how do you find the point B? The point B is a point of intersection between the line AB and the circle. So of course we solve simultaneously. So now we just have to plug in back in the main function. Expand, you will have the value of x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now y is the value of minus 2x plus 26 minus 5 squared is 130. Now simplify this. That will become minus 2x plus 21 squared. That should become 4x squared. That will become 2 times minus 2 times 21 should be minus 84. X and plus 21 squared is the value of 441. Now replace everything back now. So that should become, here we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 plus equal to 130. So now we have to simplify this whole equation and see what happens. So here we have 1x squared plus 4x squared is 5x squared. 4x minus, it should be 84x here. That should become minus 80x. And then we have 4 plus 441 minus 130. That should become 315 right here. Double check. So 4 plus 441 minus 130, that should be this. Now because everyone is a multiple of 5, we can divide by 5 everywhere. Let's see what happens. This will become x squared minus 80 divided by 5 should be 16, and plus 63 equal to 0. Okay, so one more time, because everyone is a multiple of 5, I decide to divide by 5 to reduce this to this, because it's simpler to work with this. Now, you can solve this by using your formula, right? Or you can factorize, that's up to you. Now x squared is the value of x times x. Now 63 is what? So we should know it is, well, I know it's 9 times 7. So I'll use this pair. 9 over here, 7 over here. Minus 16 should be minus 9 minus 7. Solve. X can be the value of 9 or X can be the value of 7. But here we have 7 already, so we don't need to look into this one. Look into this one. Replace. Y is a value of minus 2x plus 26. So replace x in here to be minus 2 times 9 plus 26. That should be the value of 8. Therefore, finally, the point B was found to be 9 and 8. And this is your answer for question 5. We first have to find the equation and then solve simultaneous equation to find the point B. The description below and click on this link to access the Patreon page for the full video. With that being said, good luck and thank you for watching.